of you know, I have been medically diagnosed with 2 vaginas, and if you have not seen that video, then I will definitely link it to you. Basically, I found out because of kidney pain, my grandma, and a duck. But for today's video, you know, a lot of people had questions, and I realized that I didn't exactly answer all of those. So I wanted to take some of the top questions that you guys had in comments or on Twitter or Instagram, just kind of answer those and kind of talk to you about it. You guys asked a lot of great questions, so I wrote a couple of them down on my phone, and I just kind of wanted to give you guys those answers because we're gonna get personal. I think the first question is, Cassandra, why are you talking about this? Let's say that I was born with like extra heart chambers or like a cow with extra stomachs. It's interesting, it's different, and it's something that could cause problems that I don't completely understand. It's a medical anomaly, it just happens to be in a reproductive area. Hi, phone. It did take me a while to talk about it. I've been comfortable around it with my friends and my family. I mean, I'm the exact same person I've always been. Throughout the time that I didn't talk about it, I tried to research things and I couldn't really find a lot, and I'm hoping that there are other people out there who either have this or know about it who can shed some light. I didn't have a regular OBGYN until we found out about this, so that's been helpful, but not everyone knows. I'm talking about it because, you know, maybe there are other people out there who are dealing with this and feel like embarrassed or alone or weird or different, and you know, it's a medical anomaly, and I guess my life is a little bit public on here. It's kind of my way of therapy, I guess, because it lets me connect with you guys, and I don't know. The second huge question, especially for me, was, does this actually cause my chronic acne? And the answer is no. I was born with 2 things. Does that automatically mean I'll have acne? No. If I was born with an extra toe, would that mean I have acne? No. So just because I was born this way, just having that does not cause acne. However, because of the added hormones, it could aggravate acne, but it's not the cause of it, and just because you have 2 of these does not mean that you will automatically have acne. So the first question is, what does it look like? Basically, a regular vajayjay is just like this big opening. Here's the opening at the bottom, so everything looks normal, which is why we couldn't tell at first. Everything looks normal, and then up here you have the uterus and then the fallopian tubes and everything like that. And for me, instead of just having this one large cavity, there's almost like a deviation, kind of like a nose, a deviation down the middle that separates it into 2, and then same with the uterus. Instead of having a big uterus, it's kind of like a heart or a pear shape. And then the fallopian tubes, and then the kidney ducts, and I have both kidney ducts but only 1 kidney, so it's kind of special. And then how did I not really know? Well, this is gonna get a little bit personal, so say goodbye if you want to, but I've always used pads as opposed to tampons. That's never really been my thing, and so I never really found out. Even though I had issues with bleeding for extended amounts of time, nobody suspected that I had 2 vaginas. They just thought that I had crazy hormones. And I couldn't really tell because it's the same on the outside. Due to issues that I won't expand on, sexual things have been always traumatic for me, and I really appreciate your respect and understanding when it comes to the fact that I just can't talk about that. But stuff happened, and so anything of that nature has always been very uncomfortable. And I don't know if that's physically because it's uncomfortable or because of the trauma that I mentally associate with it. But either way, it's totally not applicable. And even when I was trying to put myself into relationships, it was more, you know, your family's asking you, like, what's going on? Like, why aren't you dating anyone? Or you feel pressure from YouTube or pressure from the modeling industry, or you want to fit in. So I'm really not going to go into detail here, but that's not applicable at all. Yeah. Will I need 2 pap smears to check for cervical cancer? Yes, because there are 2 cervixes. Both could, you know, have different chemical buildup or relay different information. So it's kind of like double checking. I guess I'm lucky I get to double check for cervical cancer. But yes, I will probably be needing 2 pap smears if and when I get one. And technically, I'm wondering if I need one. Like, I don't know how old you have to be or if you have to go through menopause or not. But I should look up on that because I know that we have had a lot of cancer running in my family, and then my great-grandma did die of a uterine-borne cancer, and then my great-grandma on the other side died of mysterious vaginal bleeding in Ukraine. She just, yeah, it was really crazy. She started bleeding and then she died. So we don't even know, but there's obviously a lot of family genetic weird stuff going on in this area, so. Can I have children? I don't exactly know. There are many people who are infertile who have anomalies. There are some people who can have babies fine. The OBGYN that I saw told me that in some cases the little septum in the middle actually moves over or tears and makes way for the baby to come out. Some people need C-sections. There was a woman in India who was born with 2 wombs who did have 2 successful pregnancies, 2 pregnancies at the same time, and gave birth to both kids. The thing is that I don't really know if I want to conceive. I'm not trying to. I've always kind of been open to adoption and to like other options. That's just kind of always been in my mind, but if the person that I end up with wants me to have kids, like, I think I'm down for that. Like, I think I'm fine with that. I don't really know because I haven't gotten there yet. But if I did decide to have children, you know, it would probably take in vitro, I would assume. And in vitro normally, an in vitro can end up with multiples, so there could be the chance of having multiple kids. There could be the chance of multiple pregnancies in, like, as a twin in one or in both uteruses. And it really should be fine. The OBGYN said that things could move over, like that little septum, when I'm giving, if I decide to give birth when I'm giving birth. It could be that they could actually do a surgery to remove that septum so that, and remove the, like the separation in between the uterus and in the vagina, so that a baby could come out if I wanted to. And then there's also theory that, you know, I could have a C-section if I ever decide that. So will I be able to have kids if I want to? Hopefully. It's not really my concern right now, but you know, the good thing is that the option is there. And then a lot of people who have emailed me have told me about complications in their pregnancies or that it's been very hard for them. And so I think it depends a lot on hormones as well. There's a lot of people who don't have 2 vaginas who have a hard time getting pregnant too. So haven't really come to that, don't really know. But yeah, have the same amount of fallopian tubes and the same amount of eggs. The difference is that there's 2 cervixes and 2 vaginas and 2 uteruses. The next question is, do you have 2 periods? And the answer is yes, and it sucks. Drives me nuts, and it probably drives everyone around me nuts too, because I am really a raging hormonal person. When it comes to my period, how does that work? Well, what happens is that your period is triggered by hormones when the egg is released. So what happens is that one egg is released and the hormones kick in, and what happens is that, you know, the vagina has this lining that strips when it realizes there's no baby. And progesterone is the hormone in our brains that says, hey, it's time to let go of this stuff because we don't need it anymore. And what happens for me is that the progesterone, like maybe one is ready before the other. And so this starts shedding on the right side and the left side doesn't kick in until halfway through. Or the left side kicks in a week later, which is why there's 2 periods. And if one kind of starts and then kind of overlaps, you know, that can cause an extended period. And my periods have always been weird because they usually start and then lighten up a little bit in the middle and then get really bad again. And now that we found this out, that explains. The first one is kicking in, kind of ends, and then the second one kind of overlaps and, you know, flows through, which kind of explains that. And then missing periods, I've missed a lot of periods in my life, and I don't understand if that's a hormonal issue, if that's a dietary issue, I don't really know. There can be a lot of reasons for anemia, and anemia is basically a lack of a period due to blood levels, due to stress, due to hormones, due to nutrition, due to a whole bunch of different things. But yeah, it's always really fun, and I get really moody and I have severe, severe cramps. The cramps actually cramp up so bad that it's like around your digestion area, so it can actually cause some very uncomfortable toilet issues because there's so much cramping going on and moving that it just kind of pushes everything in the bowels through. So that's very uncomfortable as well. So yeah, I've done the best to answer these questions. If you guys have more, please leave them in the comments. This is a weird topic, but it's just a medical anomaly. I'm the same person I've always been. I appreciate your love and support, of course, and hopefully get answers from anyone who knows a little bit about the subject as well, or could shed any light, or has any ideas, or just anyone who understands how awful it is to go through period cramps. Because I tell you, when I'm eating chocolate, feeling alone and in pain, it is good to cry with someone on the interwebs. It's like a virtual period crying buddy. Anyways, I love you guys. I hope that you found this video informative. Be sure to send me more questions either in the comments or on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. But I love you guys. I appreciate your love and support, and I cannot wait to talk to you all in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.